Good afternoon, this is Will Faerber from Art to Ride, and I'm here to give us a little update on Mr. Murphy. We've had a few requests for people to see a little more of him. So he's been working with his horse Zoe now. This is probably about maybe the 7th or 8th lesson we've had under saddle. So he's been working in the horse on the lunge for a few months and got her so she stretches into the contact and going quite nicely and calming down and not so overreactive to everything. And so we've just finished lunging her. She got into a very nice place, and even though she had a few days off, she was a little excitable, but she settled right down in a reasonable amount of time, a little bit longer than we'd ultimately like. It took her maybe about 30 minutes to settle down. We'd like to get that down to where it's only taking like 10 minutes a side ultimately, but that's all right. So now she's coming in, and Dave is working on the concept of maintaining contact and just getting the horse to accept the contact with his legs, sending her forward, and learning to maintain contact with the mouth of the horse. Now, he needs to stretch up a little bit, get his upper body up there a little bit. Very nice. So what he's going to do, we've had many people talk to us about, well, what do you do then? Okay, in order to get the horse to stretch. So what Dave is doing there is that he's trying to keep the slack out of the rein. And when the horse's head comes up, all it takes is slightly more pressure than the weight of the rein. The horse will not want to feel that contact against his mouth, and it will start seeking ways of getting out of that contact. And once again, she canters a little bit. Dave's just going to bring her right back to a trot again, but he's not going to make a big deal of it. He's not going to slam her into the ground. He's just going to quietly bring her back without getting the horse overexcited. People don't realize very often they create their own problems because they get excited. You have to just stay in that very zen mind, so to speak, when you ride horses, and nothing can affect you. You must not get emotional about it, or get angry. There you go, Dave, very nice. So he's brought her back nicely, and now he's got her back into a stretch. She's back reaching into the contact with the bridle again. And she's showing now, Dave is a pretty big man for this horse. This horse is about 15.3, but she's quite stout and stable. But when we first started trying to ride her, you could see that she was really struggling with his weight, trying to get her front end off the ground, and now she has no trouble at all. So after a couple of months of conditioning, we're also beginning to see her belly has come up quite a bit. She looked like she had quite a hay belly when we first started her. So a car just went by, and that upset her to some degree, but compared to what that would have done a few months back, that would have sent her into a fit. And she got a little upset there for a moment, but he's been able to bring her right back. He's got his contact again, and once again, he's working her back into the stretch. So every time she comes out of that contact, he's not going to try to fight her back into it. He's simply going to follow upwards with his hands and let the horse feel the contact with his hands. So as the horse seeks a way out of the bridle, it will try up, it'll try down, but when it seeks downwards, then we simply release that contact. So the horse finds the open door being the one that stretches down, gets them into the position that we need them in order for their body to operate right, biomechanically, so to speak, which she's now starting to do. So he hasn't stopped her at all. He's just kept her working. He stayed quiet, not making any big demands, and now she's starting to stretch beautifully into the trot, just like that.